Yo guys, I'm Niek from the Produce School and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video I'm going to show you how to make music like CamelPhat. CamelPhat are a British DJ and producer duo and they are very well known for their distinctive melodic progressive sound. You might also know them from their tunes like Cola, which is a bit more housey, but they shifted their work more towards like the melodic progressive kind of sound. You also see them collaborating with like big melodic techno artists nowadays like Anima and Artbed, so you could say they're moving in that direction as well. For now, let's just dive straight into the video and come up with something cool. So first of all, I want to start with a bass line, and I already loaded in some synths that I want to use today. And the first one is this sharp roller bass, which sounds like this. It's a very typical sound that CamelPhat uses a lot, and it's actually really simple. It's basically just two saw waves, one pitch down 2 octaves and one pitch down 1 octave, and then LFO1 set to a 1/8 rate and linked to the level and to an MG-Low 12 filter. Make sure the MG-Low 12 filter is opened up almost completely so you still get those sharp high end that you want in these kind of basses. Don't forget a bit of noise to accentuate the high end a little bit more. Then add some chorus, a delay and a little bit of reverb. Make sure you add a low cut to it because you don't want like all those low response in your reverb, as that will get really muddy. Sound is pretty straightforward, so now let's just try to create a bass line with it. In melodic techno, you will see a lot of the times that the bass note will just stay on the same note for a very long time. And here you really want to change the notes a little bit more to really get that progressive driving kind of feel, if you get what I mean. That sounds pretty nice. Let's add it to a mixer track and start mixing it a little bit. First of all, an EQ, maybe roll off a little bit of the treble frequency. Then I want a Maximus. I just want to use this plugin to put the low area in mono. So make sure the compressor is turned off everywhere. And then in the low band, make sure to go to the stereo separation knob and turn it all the way to the right. That way you will make sure that your lowest sub frequencies are mono, and that will just help you to get a cleaner mix. Let's add a tiny bit of glue compression. And let's give it a bit more body by adding a tiny bit of decapitator. Next, I'm already sure that we're going to need a sidechain, so let's add that as well. Together with a kick that now sounds like this. really simple but really effective. And now let's move on to a top lead. So for the top lead, I'm going to use this synth from the Horizon pack, which is a saw synth with some modulation to the filter and the fine tune, which makes it sound really analog, and there is an analog noise to it as well. That sounds like this. Sounds really cool, but it sounds really dry now as well. So before I'm going to start to create the top melody, I want to add some effects like delay and reverb. And I'm going to do that with the Echo Boy, which is my favorite reverb, which I have been using a lot lately. So let's use the ping pong mode, set it to the 1/8 dotted rhythm. Give it a bit more of feedback, turn down the mix a little bit, and see what that sounds like. You can also give it a bit of saturation on the right here. For example, the tube tape saturation works really nice. Alright, let's add a little bit of reverb as well. So I think we can definitely work with that. Let's just try to come up with a nice melody. I would recommend to move away from the bass notes. So for example, you could stay on the A first, but then move away from the bass notes to add some harmonics and to just make it a bit more musical. So in this case, if you would add a C, you will instantly get way more harmonics. Let's turn down the volume a little bit. And the velocity is also linked to the cutoff. So if I bring that all the way down, okay, that's a really nice start, because the notes are so sustained. You don't want to make it too complicated, but just make sure it sounds nice, like harmonically. That sounds pretty nice. Let's add a Fruity P controller to the sound, and let's link that to both the delay and the reverb to clean up the sound a little. Let's add a cutoff automation to the lead to make it a bit more interesting. That sounds pretty nice already. Let's add a glue compressor to this as well, really subtly, because this filter cutoff automation will like gradually change the sound, and then a compressor will really work to reduce the peaks of the sound and to just make it sound a bit more consistent. And let's add a sidechain to this as well. Maybe just to like 60% or 70%. And also add a stereo enhancer to make it a bit more stereo. Let's add this to a separate pattern. And let's try to create something like an arpeggio for the second drop. And in this case, I'm going to use this saw plug. And on top of the bass, I just want to create something really simple. I think an arpeggio doesn't have to be complicated at all. You can do it like crazy, but just a really simple one works really well already to fill the space in your drop. Alright, let's randomize the velocity a little bit. So right here. And then just copy it to the rest of the bass line. Okay, that sounds pretty interesting already. Let's add a short delay to it. Let's make this a little bit stereo as well, but just a tiny bit, like 10%. Let's add a cutoff automation for the ARP as well and open it up towards the end of the drop. Let's add something like a endless smile. Okay, that sounds really nice already. I might want to introduce in the first part of the drop already, and then just the cutoff down. Maybe that will work. It sounds really nice. Let's now add one last synth, and I want to add a synth pad. And I'm going to use this really cool plugin for it called 80, which is a analog synth emulation, and it just sounds really nice. Already the init preset. I think I want to use this one already. So let's copy the bass line into the VST plugin, and then just start creating some chords. So these notes are basically similar to beat. So let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's add a little sidechain to this as well, just so fit in our mix. Okay, this might be a cool. This might be very cool. So let's try to blend it in. Let's use this low pass cutoff filter and then just gradually fade in the synth pad. Let's now automate the kickstart of the main synths, so the kickstart won't be on when the kick isn't playing. Let's add a low cut. Let's add a low cut automation to the bass for the parts where there's no kick. Alright, something like that for now. I will now start working on the drums and FX. I'm not going to do that live in this video because otherwise this video would be a bit too long and I want to keep it interesting for you guys. So I'm going to work on it and then turn back on the recording when I have something cool and then just take you guys through it. Okay, so I worked on it for a little while and I now finished some of the drums, the FX and a little build up in front of it. And I will now take you through each of that. So first of all, here are what the drums sound together. So first of all, we have the kick that I already showed you. Then we have some head loops. And I added a little phaser effect and some auto panning on the head loops. And that just gives a really nice effect. If you've never checked out the Fruity Melodic plugin, it's really nice for all these kind of fast panning effects. Then we have a few toms. I rolled off some of the low end of the toms and I added a tiny bit of reverb. And then there are some perks, and on these perks there's just some reverb and an EQ as well. And then on top of that, a simple percussion loop. And that's it for the drums in the first part of the drop. In the second part of the drop, I also added a perk. It functions like a snare or a clap, like this. I hear that a lot nowadays and I really like the sound of it. Yeah, there are no effects on it, just find a proper sample like this one. And there are some heads and more loops. Then some claps in between with a lot of reverb and delay. And that's it for the drums. For the effects, just some atmosphere samples, a white noise sample and just a like regular atmosphere. Playing continuously throughout the drop. Some down filters, just white noise bass. And some uplifters as well. Now let's move on to the build-up, which sounds like this. Basically, it consists out of the same elements of the drop, just introduction of the drop elements, some fills, some uplifters, and of course, plenty of automations. And the automations are basically filters, volumes, and some endless small, put on the main elements of the track to create a bit more tension. And that's basically it for that build-up. It's just nice for the video to have a little bit of contrast and context for the track. So I think that's it for today. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out in such a short time. And I hope you guys like it too. And I will now play the end result. So if you guys want to check out the sounds that I used in this video or one of our other sample packs, make sure to go to the link in the description. You will find a link to all of our sample packs. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, make sure to leave a comment below. As always, like and subscribe to never miss out on a new video. And I hope to see you guys next time. My heart is overtaken, feelings at the